Good morning, welcome. I'm continuing my thought about God not being ageist, and I'm inviting you to turn to Isaiah 40, some wonderful verses of promise. Particularly, I think, well, it does include the youths and the young people, but especially for those of us who are older and who naturally feel less energetic and less full of verve and vim as the young people, And of course, we have been brainwashed by our generation that says, well, the way you feel is down to your age, You must expect these things as you get older. Well, the Bible actually doesn't go along with that. It doesn't go along with the idea that as we get older, everything starts to fail, and as we get older, we are less able to do things. It doesn't go along with that. But because we believe it, that's what happens to us. It's interesting, isn't it? It's a thought. How much of this is to do with what we've been brought up to expect that our faculties will fail as we get older. Here, listen to this promise in Isaiah and spend today meditating on it, because it's so special. It's Isaiah 40. And it's been talking about God and how wonderful he is and how he does not faint or grow weary. And then verse 29, Isaiah 40, he gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might he increases strength. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Now, they're beautiful words, but can we get beyond the beauty of the poetry of what Isaiah has written to the reality of it? That God has promised us that we will have the strength we need for each day, that we will have, according to the day, the strength that we need. This is a promise for us for every single day of our life. I mean, there are days when we're young, when we faint, when we've got something that is too hard, something that we feel we just cannot manage. We run out of energy, we can't do it. And then, as we wait on God, he gives us the strength to do it. He gives us, his promises are true. His promises are effective. His promises are for today. So, meditate on these verses, whatever your age, to know that when you run out of your human strength, there is a superhuman strength that God gives to us. I mean, you only have to look at runners like marathon runners, the marathon runner, how often they talk about the impact of the crowd cheering them on, helps them to keep going. And when they feel they can't do any more, if they know the end is in sight, they get a new burst of energy because they know they've nearly arrived. And that energy is supernatural, really. People do things they never expected they would be able to do through adrenaline that comes in a situation of emergency. When something awful has suddenly happened, people get this surge of hormone that it enables them to do things that they couldn't do ordinarily. And God is the source of that. God is the one who made us and gave us those resources. And he is able. He has promised, those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Not might renew their strength, but shall renew their strength. Think about how you think about your body and how you think about how you are and what you can do at your age. And think about it in the light of the promises of Scripture, rather than the foretelling of the doctor, of our society, of everything we read, really. Think about it. What do you believe about where your strength comes from? Does it come only from your body aged to whatever age you've reached? Think about it. We far too easily agree with what doctors have said, and it's interesting that the NHS is not allowed to be ageist anymore, and they are doing hip replacements for people in their 90s. Why? Because they can. And why shouldn't a person in their 90s have the ability to move around? Why should they be put on the scrap heap because they're in their 90s? They shouldn't. They're not allowed to be ageist about it. And they're not being, and they're discovering that people can recover from these amazing operations really into very old age. God has made us to heal. God has made us exquisitely, wonderfully. And he does not look at our age as an excuse for us not doing some of the things that he asks us to do. So let us change our minds about what aging is all about and live by the scripture, not by our culture. God bless you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.